In the modern gaming age, developers want nothing more than for players to be playing their games forever. While there are exceptions to this, of course, most of the big publishers actively pap their pants at the idea of you picking up a game, beating it in a weekend, and then trading it in and never returning again. Part of that is pure business. If you never stop playing a game, then theoretically anyway, you might never stop paying for it either, be it through small microtransactions or expansions. Another part is simply a desire from developers to experiment as well, creating these huge game worlds that constantly populate quests and demand your time. As a result, there are some games that, in one way or another, simply never end. Even if you hit credits, you're still far from finished and have plenty of content to look forward to. I'm Josh from WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 video games that never end. Number 10, Minecraft. The perfect sandbox game, Minecraft has been delighting fans across the world for over a decade now, even going through a resurgence in popularity in the last couple of years due to the seemingly infinite resources from Microsoft. By simplifying nearly everything into perfect cubes, Minecraft encourages creativity to an almost unrivaled degree by allowing players to set about doing basically whatever they want in-game. That feature is exactly why Minecraft is a game that can go on forever, as players can build and then destroy until their heart's content, with gameplay, in a sense, only ending when you run out of ideas. There is some ridiculous stuff people have figured out over the years, and there's even a great video from Dan Olsen of Folding Ideas about how he managed to manufacture a colonial hellscape in the game simply because he realised that he could. However, despite the fact that Minecraft can technically go on forever, there is a canonical main questline for the player to finish. Though it wasn't actually included in the game when it first released, players can travel to the aptly named The End, defeat the Ender Dragon, and reveal a credit sequence to provide a more traditional gaming conclusion. Number 9. Tetris. When searching for games that can go on forever, the puzzle genre is always a great place to look, and no puzzle game has ever been quite as popular and addictive as that of Tetris. Developed during a time when modern-day Russia was still comprised of a series of socialist republics, Tetris was born and quickly became a phenomenon. What makes the original Tetris formula so addictive is that there is no endpoint. So while the player can rack up points en route to a high score, regardless of how well you play, you can only prolong the time before you inevitably make a wrong move and wind up defeated. While this can be said for a lot of games of this ilk, for my money, none of them are as good as this original. However, this same thing is not true actually of the Nintendo Switch exclusive Tetris 99, which brings the title into the 21st century by adopting elements of the widely popular online battle royale games, with players now able to be declared victorious if they can outlast 98 other gamers in fast-paced Tetromino-filled action. Number 8, Animal Crossing: New Horizons. The Animal Crossing series is the perfect relaxing gaming experience that puts little expectation on the player, well, apart from the knowledge that you'll always owe millions to a never-sleeping overlord, allowing exploration and advancement completely at your own pace. What makes Animal Crossing titles so special, though, is that they take menial everyday chores like tending to a garden or decorating your house and make them into something fun to do in-game. The most recent release in the franchise, Animal Crossing: New Horizons, has taken some of the staples of the series and added in an all-new crafting system that allows the sequel to retain the hallmarks of the previous titles without feeling stale or completely rehashing ideas. Though New Horizons does include a credit screen once the player has hosted a concert with the canine crooner KK Slider, the game will continue on indefinitely from that point forward, with the player able to continuously upgrade their space as they see fit and continue to live the idyllic island lifestyle for as long as they choose to. Throw in updates and content planned as the year goes on, and your island in New Horizons might never stop expanding. Number 7, The Sims. When the first Sims installment was released in 2000, it marked a revolution in gaming. It wasn't the first time that a life simulator had been created, but its expansive offerings in both designing somewhere to live and then actually living in it and controlling your character within your household proved to be an instant mainstream hit worldwide. Since then, the series has managed to maintain its popularity and spawned several successful sequels, all coming with multiple expansion and stuff packs. making the franchise seriously profitable for EA as players look to perfect their virtual life with all the best clothing and furniture. As a simulation game, one of the core tenets of the gameplay is that players can experience the entire life cycle of the characters they control, from birth through to death and everything that takes place in between. Sims superfans then have utilized this ability to their advantage, creating entire lineages of characters and their offspring, often spanning several generations. Number 6. Football Manager. Football Manager is not just a game. Okay, well, technically it's just a game, but many of the series' most hardcore fans won't have you believe that. For them, FM is serious business, with the level of customization and control making players feel like they really are taking charge from the managerial hot seats. Unlike other simulators of the beautiful game, the Football Manager series includes an often overwhelming level of detail, but also does not offer an option to physically dictate the action on the pitch. Consequently, to ensure success, would-be Pep Guardiolas must micromanage their tactics to ensure that their team will emerge victorious. One of the things that makes the series so addictive is just how open-ended it is, as players in the game will be consistently created, allowing a manager to preside over their football team for decades, like a wise old school teacher who has taught several generations of the same family. Some players have even tested the longevity of this to an insane degree, with German FM fanatic Sepp Helder currently holding the world record for longest game, having racked up over 300 years of in-game action in just one save file on Football Manager 2017. Number 5. SimCity. Before The Sims allowed players to micromanage just about every aspect of human life, developer Maxis had earned critical acclaim for a title with a broader scope in the SimCity franchise. Though the series has suffered from some subpar releases in recent years, it is hard to argue that some of the original SimCity titles were landmarks in the simulation genre and could prove ridiculously addictive in the right hands. The original SimCity tasked gamers with the ostensibly straightforward goal of developing their land from a patch of dirt into a burgeoning metropolis. Players had to provide inhabitants with somewhere to live, develop infrastructure, and collect taxes, also their city could continue to expand. While beating any of the games in the franchise is technically impossible, as one settlement can continue growing and be maintained indefinitely, a quick scour of Google should be enough to show that people have devoted countless hours to getting as close as humanly possible by creating these municipal masterpieces. Number 4. Dreams. The most recent title to feature on this list and exclusively available on PlayStation 4, Dreams is a game offering players an almost unprecedented amount of user freedom to create and explore their own experiences. What makes Dreams so expansive is that it allows players to scour user-generated creations to find some of the most diverse gaming scenarios ever collated in a single title. Like many of its contemporaries on this list, Dreams does include a main campaign titled Art's Dream for the player to complete, but it is only the tip of the iceberg in terms of all the features available within the game. With an ever-growing user base, Dreams is a world of unadulterated imagination captured on screen, and it is only going to grow and improve with more people creating and sharing their content for players to enjoy. Number 3. Space Invaders. Developed in a time before consoles were in almost every home, Space Invaders was one of the undisputed kings of the arcade era of video games, with battles between local players for high scores on a particular machine laying the foundations for what would eventually become competitive gaming. Pioneering the shoot-'em-up genre by being completely outnumbered and taking on the world alone, Space Invaders sees the player taking control of a ship tasked with taking on hordes of descending aliens while racking up as many points as possible. The game proved so popular, in fact worldwide, that following its release in 1978, there were rumours circulating that a shortage of coins had emerged as gamers flocked to arcades to survive just that little bit longer and set a new high score. The later Space Invaders titles, including the Game Boy port, would include a more linear progression towards an ending. The original arcade title allowed players to continue going for as long as they were able. Number 2. Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead took the world by storm in the late 2000s, finally proving once and for all that nobody would last even half as long as they think they would in an actual zombie apocalypse. I mean, if my mate Kyle can't even save me from a hunter in a video game, then what chance do we have in real life? Now, of course, the campaign mode in 2008's Left 4 Dead does include some semblance of a story outside of just mowing down flesh eaters and does have a definitive finale. However, those who just wanted to continue laying waste to the infected for as long as they desired were in luck, as the game offered a survival mode as DLC the year after release. This meant that while rescue was out of the question, the player could hang on for as long as possible, and bring countless zombies down with them, racking up a high score before they inevitably died. Likewise, the campaigns were more of a formality anyway, something players were encouraged to replay over and over again. Number 1. No Man's Sky. With its release in 2016, No Man's Sky was one of the most anticipated AAA offerings in recent memory, giving players the chance to explore an open-world universe inspired by optimistic science fiction writings of the 1970s. Now, of course, we all know the launch of the title was marred with problems, and Hello Games failed to deliver on all of their more lofty promises prior to release, but thanks to some updates, No Man's Sky has since been formed into an enjoyable, rich experience. With exploration at the forefront of the game's mechanics, players are encouraged to take their time and experience the universe how they see fit, though there is a main questline that will lead the player towards the centre of the galaxy. However, once the canonical ending has been concluded, the gameplay will still continue, and inside that galaxy there's another one waiting to be explored, with players finding themselves right back at the start every time. So that's our list. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Which games have I missed off here that never end? I'm sure someone's going to point out World of Warcraft. I can just feel it. But either way, while you're down there, could you give us a like, share, subscribe, and head over to WhatCulture.com for more lists and news like this every single day. Even if you don't though, I've been Josh. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.